Hi, I'm Alexis, owner and designer at MergeAndCenter, an Etsy shop that specializes in Google Sheets templates. Right now, we're looking at the Podcaster Playbook. This is a tool for any podcasters or aspiring podcasters. It's really easy to use, but let me give you a quick tour of it and give you some tips. When you first get the Podcaster Playbook, you're going to want to start on the Customize sheet. Here you can choose an emoji to give your podcaster playbook a little bit of flair, and you can add the name of your podcast if you already know what it is. When you update the name of the podcast, you'll notice that every other sheet now has the name of your podcast at the top. The dashboard sheet is going to give you some high-level statistics on your episodes, including your average episode length, and then also your number of active sponsors from the sponsors sheet. But all of this is going to look blank when you first get it, so you will have to start adding information into the Podcaster Playbook in order for these pie charts to start filling up. If you're just getting started, the checklist sheet is going to be a good place to start because we have a getting started to-do list and we have an equipment list. Just check off items as you go. The currently working on column over here, this is the episode published checklist. And this is a checklist that you're probably going to use over and over again if you're using it to help you remember to do all these different things for publishing each episode. So a quick tip is once you've selected all your items, if you want to quickly deselect all of them, go ahead and select all of those checkboxes and then click the space bar. And there you go. The script sheet is going to be where you go to script out your shows or give yourself a little bit of an outline to follow, and you can check these sections off as you talk about them in your actual recording. A quick tip for this is if you want some extra spaces in these cells, you'll notice that if I click enter, it just brings me down to the next cell. But if you want actual spaces between what you're typing out here, you're going to hold down either your Alt key or your Option key, and then enter or return down. If you want a rough calculation of how long your episode's going to be, you can kind of time box each of these sections, and the total is going to be calculated at the top for you. The episode list sheet is where you're going to keep track of all of your episodes and episode ideas. You can customize all of these drop-down menus as well. If you click on any of those drop-down menus and you click the edit button, this little pencil icon in the bottom, you can drag and rearrange these options. You can change the color of the options. You can rename or completely replace each of the options. You can delete the options, or you can add another item. Click Done when you're finished, and then click Apply to All. And you can do this for any of the drop-downs that appear in the entire Podcaster Playbook. The Sponsors sheet is where you're going to keep track of any sponsorships that you might have ongoing for your podcast. We've got another customizable drop down here. The one thing to note about this sheet is that the end date will highlight red when the end date is in the past. And if the end date for your sponsorship is still in the future, then the active checkbox will automatically be checked. And this is how your dashboard calculates your number of active sponsors. Lastly, on the Customize sheet, you have the instructions on how to customize your drop-down menus in case you forget those steps. So they're outlined here. And then you have a little resources section at the bottom that has some video tutorials as well as a feedback and suggestion box in case you have any feedback on the Podcaster Playbook or any of my other Google Sheets templates in my shop. Thank you so much for purchasing the Podcaster Playbook. I wish you the best of luck in your creative endeavor.